What a real one. If I need her to come through, turn up, we best friends. Fall till we follow, she want to. Female version of myself, couldn't be with nobody else. Vibe is so amazing every time we touch. You, I just can't get enough. But I know how to put it down. Say you want a real one. Baby, if I am one, something when you're ready, baby, I put it down. Say you want a real one, baby, if I am one, something when you're ready, baby.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Love Movement Podcast. We got two special guests, the mayor of Bellwood and the mayor of Maywood. These brothers are going to explain to us how this thing go. But we want to welcome all our followers and everybody that show love to the Love Movement. We can't do anything without you. And this is coming from me, the musty man, CB, my money-minded Tori Capri, and the hottest goddess, Lady Z.
Yes.
So it's been a rough week for some of the people in the Proviso Township. We lost Gary Wayne, Badger, PC. Everybody know them as PC. And then we also lost Bobby Sykes. So those are two guys in the community that was beloved by everybody. And, you know, I just want to say condolences to their families and peace and blessings to them. Also, I want to shout out to our sponsors, Viola Shy. They got daily specials right there in Broadview Dispensary. They serve you what you need. And the Blue Note, and even on Wednesdays now, they incorporated a game night where they have games for stepping and playing pool and cards and all of that. And it turns out it's going to be pretty good. And you already know the View. The View has all kind of activities going on, and they're open for any kind of event that you might want to have, from weddings, live music, birthday parties, whatever the case might be. And 717. So they're doing a good job in what they're trying to accomplish. So we love that. And now the contest is coming up. I'm gonna drop the bomb about
these contests.
I gotta have. I mean, we're giving away cash money.
That's right.
We're giving away cash money to the winners, the first three winners, and it's gonna be one submit. You got to submit one photo. You submit one photo, and it's gonna be based on how many reactions you get for your photo. And positive reactions. We're not talking about no negative reactions.
Supposed to be under photo.
Right.
When I finish, I will let y'all know. It's about the best dressed couple for Valentine's Day. Okay. So I'm gonna drop all details tomorrow. So y'all plug in. Ain't that what y'all do?
So you gotta let them know they can't be submitting old pictures like last year. It has to be Valentine's Day.
No, the best picture.
Okay, they could be from anywhere.
Anywhere, whatever it is.
That would have been fun though.
The couple pictures
from Valentine.
Yeah, it would be fun, but
yeah.
I already
Because
said
people need to get back to dating.
Like you and
your dog.
Oh,
if that's how it works. If y'all a couple, but you gotta kiss the dog.
Oh my God!
If y'all a couple, you can't be coming up here. If it's the dog,
People love their dog.
yeah, well,
I do.
Listen, I ain't mad at nobody. You post what you want. It's the reactions that's gonna win.
You might just get that reaction too.
But see, and then some. In that case, Lady Z, when you say it would be good if they post something that was on Valentine's Day, people would.
I say that because a lot of people don't date anymore.
Ooh.
And I think that would be something fun, you know.
It would be. We're going to think about that next year.
Yeah.
But this year is the best dressed couple. And I just say couple because that's what that's what Hallmark made y'all.
Yeah.
It made y'all love each other for Valentine's Day so they could be rich.
That's what I said.
So that will be coming up. Now, listen, this is Black History Month, and we are blessed. Oh, my God, are we blessed to have two of the brothers that are mayors in this town of township of Proviso, Maywood, Bellwood, and the brothers.
That's what's up.
They're black men, and you know they have dreams, and we want to get into their heads and My girls, they got their questions. They ready to really rifle you guys. What you got for them, Lady Z? What's your question for the
Well,
guy?
obviously, whenever they do interviews, of course, people ask a bunch of political questions. But I do feel like the people need to know who you are as a person, as opposed to as the mayor, because you both come off very personable. I feel like I have a rapport with the both of you guys, and that's a warming feeling for me to be in the community and know that I can go to my mayor, I can go to the office, and I don't have to I don't have to leave a message and wait a week or so to get a response. So I think that's a great thing. And I think other people need to know exactly who Mayor Booker and who Mayor Harvey is.
All right.
Mayor Booker.
Man, Booker, you up?
Who am I? No. First off, thank you guys so much for having us on the show. It's a blessing. We've been talking about it for months.
Yeah.
So we're finally glad that we was able to lock in these schedules.
I've been all in y'all DMs too.
That's for sure.
Make it happen.
So Nathaniel George Booker, mayor for the village of Maywood since 2021. Single, no kids, but Uncle Nate is who I am to my family. So I have a very large family. I actually have our family home that my grandparents bought in Maywood back in the 1960s.
Okay.
So the kids are always over there. The family's always over there. We just celebrated my grandmother's 88th birthday on Sunday. So that's Mayor Harvey's resident.
Hey, you're right. You better don't let nobody forget it. I'm our mayor.
So my background is more hospitality, human resources, organizational development, and performance improvement. Mayor just kind of became a thing over the last couple of 3 years. But historically, like background professionally, is hotels and hospitality and human resources.
I can see that.
Yes, sir. Mr. Harvey.
Oh, Chris Brown. Thank y'all.
We go way back, like
way
Cadillac
back,
seats.
for real.
So,
thank y'all for inviting me and having me here. And I'm gonna try to make my story as brief as I can make it.
Tell your story,
but
man.
I got a long story.
There you go.
So
we got a long time.
People want to know who I am. I am Mayor Andre Harvey of the village of Bellwood, and that's a position that I never really thought about being in or wanted to be in. I am actually from Bellwood. My parents moved to Bellwood in 1969, a long time ago, probably before Goddess was born. But I put it out there, before she was born, my parents moved to Bellwood. And we were the first Black family on our block on 22nd and Randolph. And for anybody that's listening, they know when we say the deuce, they know where it's all started at in Bellwood on the deuce. Hey, and I'm gonna tell you, Chris Brown knew about that because the Jenkins live over there, and I know he'll spend plenty of time on 22nd and Randolph.
The Jenkins, yes, sir.
That's where it's at.
And you protect that block religiously.
We have to.
Big Ma Jenkins, she over there.
That's right, Big Ma's there. So we moved in August of 1969. The Jenkins moved to Bellwood in November of 1969. So when my family moved there, I didn't really I have a sister, Tony, and we were the only two kids on the block that looked like us until the Jenkins clan came over there with 13 with siblings,
brothers and sisters, and kids and the hosts and nieces and nephews.
And they welcomed us into their family. So we're just like brothers and sisters with the Jenkins family, and it's been a great thing ever since 1969. But my story starts in an all-white community as a young Black male who didn't always do the right thing, tried to stay out of trouble, but trouble sometimes found me.
It works.
So I have experienced a lot of racism in the community of Bellwood as a kid, even as a teenager. Been arrested by the police at the age of 14, which I say, like most other Black people say, on some charges that was not legitimate charges. So wound up going to the Army at the age of 18, but coming back to my community at the age of 21, getting one of them great jobs at the post office. Oh my God!
Veterans.
Well, all my aunties, uncles, father, and
I'll get all the good stuff. The CTA.
My friend
the
Robert
office,
Townsend, he got a movie he did, Hollywood Shelf.
Yes.
And at the end of it says, you could always find work at the post office.
That's right.
his mom worked with my mom at the post office downtown.
Bless her heart, she passed away. But
That's
they did.
So my father worked at the post office for many years and retired from the post office. So I thought when I got to the post office, I'm right where I need to be. until someone came over to my house and asked me to, well, my cousin actually asked me to go to the village of Bellwood they're hiring firefighters, and I want to fill out a application to be a firefighter. I said, no, I don't want to do it, but I'll go with you. So I actually went to take the test, and from the time I walked in the door, I had earrings in because I still got hoes. I just don't wear them because I don't want anything to be looking at me strange.
Influence
Right. I don't want them looking at me
No
strange.
tattoos, no
Okay.
piercings.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had to tone it down just a little bit. So we went and took the test, and my cousin Chris Butler, and I know CB, you know him too, because he got his CB as well. That's right. He failed the test. I passed the test, which was a blessing for him because he became a Maywood police officer, and I became the first African American Bellwood firefighter in 1988.
That's a blessing
Wow.
right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Truly
That's a
blessing.
blessing
See,
right
that's
there.
what the people need to know.
Yeah. So had a lot of things that went on as a first black, and sometimes God put the right person in the place to carry that torch and I want to give a shout out to Dr. McKenna. And I know you guys know Al McKenna, Dr. Al McKenna.
Yeah, he was our commissioner.
All right. So quick story, and I'm trying to make it fast.
Enjoy yourself, man. We ain't no rush.
I took the test to be a firefighter in Bellwood, came out number 1 on the list. But I had a lot of brothers, Marvin Cox and some other brothers that encouraged me to take the test in Maywood. I was number 1 on the Maywood firefighter list and actually got called in Maywood before Bellwood. But Al McKenna, when he called me, he said, hey, sit down. I don't want you to take the Maywood job. I got to offer it to you because you up. He said, but I don't want you to take it. I want you to go to Bellwood and be a pioneer. I want you to be the first over there. He said, but in 6 months from now, I'm going to call you back. If they treating you bad, I'm gonna hire you right on over here in Maywood.
That's beautiful.
You ain't got.
That's what you call the love movement.
Man.
That's what you call the love movement. When people are looking out for your interests by not bringing you into a situation that they think you could do better in.
Yes.
That's what the love movement. That's what Musty Man be talking about.
So that's what Dr. Al McKenna did for me. And every time I see him, I thank him because without him doing that for me, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Because us as black people, I could have took the easy way and went to Maywood where I had 4 or 5 other brothers that I hung out with that were firefighters already in Maywood and just been there and did that. But they all encouraged me to go to Bellwood and be the first. And I did. And it was a rough time, because I experienced a lot of racism. And I said we're gonna make a book one day about the racism that went on in the Bellwood Fire Department on how I wasn't treated the same because there was different rules for the black guy.
Yeah. We had Lathan Scott and
that's my guy.
Denard Wade on here not too long ago talking about the program that they have based on the fact that they're trying to do something for the community so they can show the little kids that this is what we went through and we don't want y'all to go through the same thing.
We don't. So they So I'm smart though a little bit. I'm not the smartest guy.
Yeah, you done already passed 2 tests.
So when I was experiencing the racism and the being treated different and things of that nature in the firehouse, I knew exactly what I needed to do. So I went out and got me a black hoodie, and I sat in the corner, put my hoodie on, and started reading Malcolm X.
There you go.
Right. So everybody, all the people that would walk by like, something wrong with this guy.
Yeah.
He is militant. But I wasn't militant. I was just making a statement and letting folks know I'm not the one.
I'm different.
Yeah.
A lot different.
I'm not
Right?
that dude.
And it's so funny that you say that, Chris, because I can remember one of the firefighters, one of the lieutenants coming to me and telling me, you're different than other black people. You're not the same.
Other black people.
And I said, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
I say, I just have had some opportunities that have come my way that have allowed me to be in this place where we stand today. Because if I was out there struggling and then had no hot dogs for my kids, I'd probably be doing some of the same things.
Your own man. You're being your own man, and that's what it's all about. When this young man, when he won, and we had our conversations, I used to tell him, I said, they'll challenge your age, but
Yeah.
they can't challenge your knowledge.
That's right.
And that's one of the most important things that you have. Long as you have that knowledge, and you're doing this different things within the village of Maywood that they're doing different in Broadview. Are y'all like he your sensei? Do you got a group?
I think it's more just a play off of inspiration. Like we come with different vibes. Like he in basketball, and he's a coach with the kids. I love the kids. I'll go find the money to make sure we can hire the coaches to get the kids. But I think it's just a play off all of the different personalities to keep us going.
Yeah.
Because it's not an easy thing to do on a day-to-day basis when one, we are our own worst enemies because we are our own worst critics.
Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, as Black people, we are our own worst critics to each other. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you're fighting with, if you look at the state of Illinois, you got 1,300 communities, less than 40 Black mayors. But we attack each other quicker than any of those other 1,250 mayors will call us, be our best friends, and talk to us. But it's because they want the collaboration and the camaraderie that we have. And I thank God for Mayor Harvey, Mayor Katrina, and just the overall Illinois Black Caucus of local elected officials, because we just deal with things differently, and our communities are just set up a little different, and people really don't understand that. And
it's so important that you guys collaborate, because they got a lot of different events and stuff that's coming up. And Toya, what was your question for the mayors?
No, it's just very just to acknowledge the fact that I'm so happy that you guys shared your backgrounds, because I follow you all and I'm connected to. I'm born and raised in Maywood. My mother has a big family too. Story. One of the first Black families in Maywood. She's been in Maywood over 60 years. She started out on St. Charles and moved now where she is on Fillmore off 9th Avenue. But it's just amazing that you all have history behind where you ultimately have landed. But one of my questions was, what are the things as far as within your individual community that you're most proud of as far as your accomplishments while you have been in the role as mayors? Top 3, if you have them.
Showtime.
First of all, Mayor Harvey, how long have you been in office?
I'm in my second term, but I've been working for the Village of Bellwood for 30. I'm in my 36th year as an employee.
Oh, you get a check then from being the mayor.
He all in your pocket.
This is public
No, I want to know too. So
Public information. It's public information.
You get more than I do.
Yeah, that's what he working on.
Listen.
That's right.
See, I know how the game
You get
goes,
benefits too.
Anyway, 30 some years with the Village of Maywood. That's
Bellwood.
I mean, Bellwood.
Don't give me Maywood, man. Everybody try to give me Maywood. This is my brother's. My brother's place.
I'm sorry. Get both of y'all together. I got to remember what I'm saying. I don't even know Shannon from Sterling and Sterling.
I know that's right, man.
So I got all of that. But anyway, so 30 some years and.
Yeah, 36 years. And actually, I need to go back real quick. In 1996, became the first Black fire chief. And then in 2010, became the director of public safety, which had to go back and become a police officer. So I've been a police officer since 2010. So the last 13 years, 14 years. And then in 2016, the first African-American mayor in the Village of Bellwood. So I am so proud. Now, the top 3 things is the number one thing is being able to collaborate and work with other mayors. And I've been in there for 36 years, and I've seen for 20 years where the mayors in different communities did not work together. They thought it was taboo. If we got it, if Bellwood got it, we don't want to share it with Maywood, right?
Yeah.
If there's money out there, we don't want to share it. But what we know, and Chris, you know this, we don't have no walls. We don't have no borders. People say there's a border, but what happens in Maywood happens in Bellwood. What happens in Broadview happens in Bellwood. If we can collaborate and work together, we can make it better for all of us, because Proviso Township with Bellwood, Broadview, and Maywood, we're a family. So, and if we treat it like family and we take care of each other, we can do nothing but prosper. So that's one of the things that I'm most proud of, is the collaboration of working together. Second, I'm proud of, in the Village of Bellwood, our communities, as our department heads and our departments all work together. We have no, and I've made it a point that we family. If the police need something and you need the fire department to come and do something for you, they coming. If the fire department needs something, the police coming. Our public works department, we're gonna work together. No animosity. The third thing that I'm so proud of is bringing back events. And the number one event, the Taste of Bellwood, I am so proud. And that came from everybody's talking about, well, we going downtown, or we going to Naperville to the Real Festival, we going here. Black people can do things too if we put our minds to it and we come together. So we want to make the Taste of Bellwood and any other event that we do in Bellwood a community event, proviso event, Chicago event. We have people that come. We had a young lady from Australia that came to the Taste of Bellwood this year. We want to show people that everybody in this room, in our communities, we won and we can do it.
Absolutely.
That's it. All
Shout
right,
out
man.
to your employee, Tequila. You have an employee by the name of Tequila?
Takia.
Sunrise.
She
Takia.
made some phone calls.
Yeah,
today.
no, we've been
She already
working.
on top
That's
of
where
it,
we
so.
got to. Hey, we told her we got to lock it down now, so we ain't playing catch up at the end.
I'm letting you know Takia doing her job.
All right, thank you.
Thank
you.
Good stuff.
That's the part. If you could get it wrapped up before the summer, you're not playing catch up during
Absolutely.
Right.
the summer. Top three. Shoosh. Okay, so I would say one of the top three things is bringing back commercial investment and restaurants to the village of Maywood. I would say we have not done a liquor license in 2 decades, right? So we have one full service sit down restaurant. Shout out to Legends that has
Jeremiah.
they got karaoke going on tonight. I got to go to after this.
Yeah.
Me too.
So then we also have Yours Cafe and Bistro, which will be open from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the old piano store across from Proviso Baptist. That'll be opening in June. Then we have S2 Grill and Daiquiri Bar. That'll be coming right off Roosevelt, right behind Popeyes, where the old Sharks was. And then we also have Exclusive Lounge that'll be opening right across the street from the post office. And that'll be opening in April. They're trying to be open in April. And S2 opens actually at the end of February. Okay. So to go from no full service sit down restaurant where you could actually come have a meal and a drink to 4 within one term, I'm really excited about that. And then also just look at the fact that we have the Starbucks coming. We opened up the 84,000 square foot Kroger distribution center. We were able to open up the 100 home senior facility that had been closed for over 15 years. So just bringing back things that you can enjoy living in your home and actually spending and circulating the dollar within your community has been great. So that's one. Two, I'll say one of the biggest things is our public safety. So we are double digits down across the board in crime. We dropped 80% in homicides over the past 2 years. If you look at where we were in 2021 to today, we last year we ended with 4 homicides, and all 4 of those have arrests and charges filed. None of them were gang related. So to look at where we were and the burden that we were putting on other communities, because like Mayor Harvey says, the issues of Maywood were the issues of Proviso Township, and the conversation of Maywood. My biggest goal was to shift the culture and shift the narrative and shift the conversation of what people would say about Maywood. So we put very intentional work into public safety.
Now, what do you think was the solution to that?
It was a multi-tiered approach, right? So we started a task force. With the task force, it was faith leaders. It was every person, every governing body of government that came together. It was partnerships with the city of Chicago. We got on their carjacking task force. We got on their opioid task force. We joined forces with sending 2 of our investigators to work with them. We increased our investigations department. We added a role of a crime analyst to the village. We increased our police with the DOJ grant by 6 officers. We brought on more part-time officers. We launched the Homeland Security and Public Safety that does a lot of volunteering for us. I think we're at about 16 of the guys now that help with a lot of things that normally we would bog the police down with.
Is this like that initiative that the superintendent in Chicago is saying that instead of going to the house with the police, we could send a social worker or something like that? Is that kind of?
So that's referring to like the mobile crisis management team. Okay. So we are exploring how to get that launched. One of the suburbs, Oak Park, is working within themselves to get that first pilot launch. So we're having the conversation of, do we launch it with the police managing it, the fire department managing it, or the hospital managing it? Because there's a lot of different models. We're just trying to figure out what works for us, especially since our 911 call center partners with Braveview. How do we make sure that it's like a Maywood proviso type thing? So there's a lot of different conversations of how do we get that accomplished. Cook County launched funding for the mobile crisis response units, but they only did it for the communities that use their 911 center.
Hey, if y'all don't know, y'all better ask somebody. 708-223-8953. You hear these young brothers spitting knowledge. They know what they're talking about, because you can tell by the conversation how it's flowing. They know exactly what they're talking about, and they have programs. I didn't mean to interrupt you on number 2, but we're going to get to number
3. Number 3, I would say.
But if you're not finished with 2,
I mean, not
going. You spit the game. That's to the point. People need to know that you're doing what you do.
Yeah.
They need to know that you're not, like I said, they can challenge your age, but they can't challenge your knowledge. And the knowledge that you're spitting right now, we need to know this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, it was an extremely multi-tiered approach, but I'll transition out of to focusing on public safety and going into the Department of Justice grant that we got for youth and gang violence prevention. And that was a big piece of getting the old Boys and Girls Club, old Maywood, Park and Recreation Center open. That building, from a after-school programming facility type environment, had been closed for over a decade. So now we have fully renovated the building. We're working on the 3rd and 4th floor through grant funding right now. That's another $1.5 million that we're working on. But we have over 200 kids in that building every day now. So those are our middle school and high school students. And then for after school elementary, we do partnership over at the Park District, because they have grant funding through ICJA as well to work with the elementary kids. The partnership, I would say, like, my biggest number 3 is just making kids matter again. I think for so long as adults, we got so busy with life, and we just got so busy with processing through. We forgot that, like, it took a village to raise us. So why are we not as a village raising them? Mm-hmm. So partnering with our organizations, not trying to, shout out to so many different, like you guys said, DLD, PLCCA. Mm-hmm. We have Quinn Center, Baywood Fine Arts, Stairway to the Stars, everybody actually partnering together. The biggest piece that I'm happy about is that we launched Elements of a Healthy Maywood, and it's 12 different components of what I say has nothing to do with day-to-day operations of government, of a municipality, but everything with a holistically well-rounded community, and the youth, and the focus that we've put on the youth, and the focus that we've put on crime reduction, I would say, are my number 2 and 3s that all tie in together.
Well, that'll work. That's positive. That's powerful.
Very positive.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Even Harvey. We go way back. My nephew D'Angelo Brown assists him with the Lady Dribblers.
Yes.
And you've been doing that for forever and every day.
About 30 years.
How's the program going?
The program is still going great, and that program actually started, 30 years ago, as a mentoring program for young men in our community. And what we found out when we started the program for young men is, we used to do like the badge program and basketball games. What we found is that when you have the young men there, the women follow.
Right.
The girls follow. They like to be in the same place as the guys. And we found out that there was always some sports and basketball for the guys all year round, right. and the girls were getting neglected. So that's why me and D'Angelo put together the Lady Dribblers program, to give our young ladies something to do and to learn life skills through basketball. And to date, we've coached thousands and thousands of young ladies, and some of them that have gone on to greater things.
Yeah, a lot of them went to college behind your program, and that's very important, and to have them as little kids and then watch them grow up to be grown women is very important. My nephew D, he still do training.
He's still doing training
across the city. Yep. Bellwood, he got the Bellwood Boys Club. And he's down there at Garfield Park. But that has to be a blessing. Now that's like almost kind of personal, but it's not personal. What other things are you guys doing for the youth in Village of Bellwood?
Oh gosh, we have what somebody asked me one day, why do I wear a suit to work? And I wear a suit to work for the young men to understand that we're still mentoring every day and we're still showing young men how they should be. So in our community, I hire a lot of young men that are from the community and young women. From the Lady Dribblers program, we've hired, I think we have about 4 staff members now in the Village of Bellwood that have grown up, went to college, came back, and we have hired into our community. We still like we talk about the Boys and Girls Club, we still have Coach D and other people that are there, the young men helping out and the young women helping out. So we have a summer youth program for the kids that we do every year for our kids to learn life skills and how to work and get a paycheck and how to save money and how to do the things you need to do to be a adult. So we're still doing programs with that in the Village of Bellwood.
And I noticed that both of you guys have good senior citizen programs in your town.
He's steady trying to get a discount card.
Stop it. I'm trying to get in the building. I need a summer home.
Hey.
I'm trying to get
you can come on to our new senior apartment building on 25th and Washington.
Yeah.
We're going to get you in
That's
there.
income based though, right?
Yeah.
It's income
I
based.
don't think you want to turn in them W-2.
Yeah.
I think you want to show that bank account.
No. But you got Third and Randolph. You opened up.
Yeah, so that's 100 units that we got up and running, and then also the garden house is going through renovations right now. They're about in 40 units. We Phoenix Home just went through some renovations. We also just finished up about 24 units that either seniors or handicap or veterans can move into. So we did a project with IFF in regards to that for a couple of different places. I mean, our seniors meet every Wednesday over at the Park District. Shout out to the Park District. We have a program that we do with Age Options where there's programming Monday that they receive a meal and activities. Our seniors have no problem telling us what field trips they want to go on that they want us to pay for.
Yeah.
Right.
So the seniors have been, I mean, they all saw The Color Purple before anybody else. You know, I mean,
See the rain fall on them first.
They have no problem telling you that they want to go to overnight at the casino. So we have my Auntie M actually takes a group of seniors. They park at the Bellwood police station and then they drive out for 2 or 3 days.
So there's no borders. Ain't no borders.
Listen.
Bellwood welcome everybody.
Real. So they go out on, I think it's like 4 times a year that they go out, and it's just, you know, the seniors are the ones that help raise us. So it's like now it's almost like fun and you laugh at them because they literally treat you like everybody, like I'm everybody's grandchild. You know, it's everybody's baby. So it's just they have no problem being very vocal about what they're not happy with and what they are happy with.
Yeah. I'm looking to have a seniors day at Goddess Accessories, so I would love to have the seniors out so they can shop for their hats when they go into church and their jewelry and all their cute stuff. So
just make sure you got the massive discount.
Yes.
Yes. Because they're gonna take their time too.
And I love it.
They're gonna take their time. But you guys said something that's very important. I need you to explain to us how this works, because a lot of times people don't understand how it goes. The funding and the grants for different programs where you guys have to say, hey, we got a budget, we trying to make it work, and you being a new mayor, what's the challenges that for you to get that money, get them grants, and you got a good team? I mean, you know, tell us how that works.
So I'll say shout out to everybody who gets grant money. But I think for me, it was very interesting. I had never even paid attention to being in government or being in grant writing or life like that. When I came back to Chicago in 2017, after my father and grandfather had both passed away, I was just trying to be here for my family. I was planning on going back to New York and living my life. In 2017, as I'm house renovating, still working for IHE as a consultant, Senator Lightfoot actually called me into a meeting and asked me, like, did I know anything about the census? I was like, the thing that they do every decade? Sure.
Right.
Yeah, I know what it is. Great. Can you come to this meeting tomorrow? I'm like, sure, Senator, anything for you. I go to the meeting. She has me go downtown. I walk into a room, whole room full of a bunch of people. I have no clue who they are. She's like, sit in the back, sit in the back. So I sit in the back, and they spend 3 hours talking about census and what we different things needed to do in the region. And from that point, the meeting's over. She's like, "Did you hear everything?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Did you take notes?" I was like, I took some notes because I figured she was going to ask me some questions. She said, "Good. Here's this binder. You got to write this grant for Proviso Township." And I said, "What?"
She said, "What?"
You got to write the grant for Proviso Township.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the first introduction to grant writing.
Okay.
I had never even, I'm like, write a grant. I don't know how to write a grant. She's like, "You smart. You got it. Write the grant."
Yeah.
So literally wrote the grant for Proviso Township. We got $500,000 in regards to outreach. And then for the work that we were doing and the reporting that was being done, for the money that they were taking back from other people who weren't reporting correctly, we ended up getting $1 million overall for the township. And from that standpoint, that's when I was like, wait, so this ain't none of our money, but we all spending it?
Mm.
And this is called a grant. Okay, got it.
I got it.
So a shout out to our team. We have people in the police department that write grants, the fire department that writes grants. I write grants. My community development team writes grants. Public works director writes grants over in Maywood. We don't have a dedicated grant writer because, like, if you're the specialty in your field, you can explain it better than anybody else can. We partner heavily with Hancock Engineering on our larger IDOT grants, but I think the blessing in regards to getting grant funding is we are an underserved, disadvantaged community and area, right? So there are a lot of things that other communities have been able to take care of, been able to maintain, and been able to do that financially we just never were able to, we have not been able to do it for so long. So sometimes I say there was some intentional negligence. And when I say intentional negligence, sometimes I'll say it's on leadership, sometimes I'll blame it on circumstance, right? But intentionally we were made to not have the circumstances to be able to renovate. So I'm sorry.
That's all right.
We do a lot of partnership with Congressman Davis, Senator Lightford, Speaker Welch, Cook County, because last year we did about almost $20 million in renovations of infrastructure. I will say 75% of that was grant funding because it was not out of our budget. And I'm trying to get more than that this year.
Okay.
So I think without the funding that comes from federal, state, county, township, I know we would be hurting. We have over $400 million in infrastructure needs. And the funding that we can get from the federal, state, and county government truly does help what has been blighted in our communities, such as the lead service lines, the old infrastructure, the old water lines. I mean, it's crazy every day. But thank God for grants. And thank God for those people that you build relationships with and partnerships with that are able to navigate you through the grant writing process, no matter what.
Listen, it was at one point where the Proviso Township political officials owned every high-ranking position, from Gene Moore, recorder of deeds, now is Karen Yarbrough. Then you got Kimberly Lightford and you got Chris Welch. Man, and you guys are birthed out of that program. Now you got that big quarry over there west of 25th. Tell us how that project went. That's interesting.
Well, first off, shout out to, as Mayor Booker said, all those powerful people and those African Americans in those powerful positions that's working for our communities, because without them, we would be missing out on a lot of those grants and a lot of that funding. So they help us tremendously. And I want to shout out again to Maywood, because you got to shout to that grant that finally got Washington Boulevard paved.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
I
can go through there now.
That's right. You ain't tear your cob no more. You can go through on Washington.
Go through there. I saw that.
So a grant helped that. So
Sure.
Definitely.
shout out to Danny Davis and all those people.
Yes.
So some of the stuff that we are so proud of in the village is our senior home that is right next to Water Reclamation District's detention pond. We in the western suburbs have a problem with flooding sometimes, that 5-year flood, that 10-year flood, that 50-year flood. So we had a warehouse there that we decided, they were trying to put a detention pond in Melrose Park. It wasn't working out for them. So shout out to Peter Cholis, our economic developer, and Eric Sweeney, and Miss LaShore, Tanita LaShore, who actually writes grants for us, all three of those people. But They tried to put that in Melrose Park, but it didn't work out. So Peter Cholis told Water Reclamation District, well, why not come to Bellwood? We got some property that would probably work, and it would help prevent flooding. So that detention pond is now online and will it's supposed to. So I gotta preface by saying this.
Yeah.
We have about 900 homes in the floodplain in Bellwood, and that's residents that are paying anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 a year on flood insurance. Once this project is complete and goes online, it's going to pull out approximately 800 homes out of the floodplain, which will put more money back in those residents' pockets and prevent the flooding issues that we have. And some people think that the detention pond is supposed to stay filled with water, but what happens is there's a creek that runs the Des Plaines and Addison Creek that runs through, and when that creek starts rising up, it backfills in the sewers. So what the detention pond will do is when the creek starts rising, it'll kick on a pump that'll pump the water out of the creek into the detention pond.
Okay.
And when it stops raining and the waters go back down, it'll pump the water back into the creek and let it flow on downstream. So it'll prevent lot of people from having flooding.
That's beautiful. And that's one of the issues we having with Fred Hampton Pool when you guys are working on a project right now with them. And that's a beautiful thing. But let's take this to another level, and I want to deal with some things, because it's very important that when we have you on our show, we love you on our show. And we want to try to educate our people as much as possible. You got the migrant situation, and you got the Democratic National Convention that's coming up. What roles do you play in each of those situations?
Yes, so I'll say when it comes to, I will do the Democratic National Convention first. So I work as the 7th District planner for the conference that's coming in, because it'll be at the United Center this August, we're in 2024. Right. And so I work with the congressman and his team in regards to that. Also, I'm on the board of directors for National League of Cities, and I'm a second vice president for the National Black Caucus of local elected officials. So they are all planning to come to Chicago. So we're doing a lot of planning in regards to that. And I'm the only one on the board for NLC that actually is in Chicago. So there's a lot of conversations and calls that go into that, knowing that the conference is in the district that I live in. So that's a big piece of my life, going into the DNC conference. For the migrant situation, I mean, for me, the biggest piece that our residents and our community struggles with at time is just how much of a rainfall of funding has become readily available to things that are happening for those that are not born citizens of the United States, and the things that we still have been struggling to get. So when I say we in Maywood alone need $408 million worth of infrastructure funding, when I say we need more investment in our education system, because we have schools that are literally in the bottom 5% of the state. When I say we literally have schools that have our Black young men that have a 1% proficiency reading level at their grade rate, it's kind of a hard thing to deal with, the funding that's becoming readily available. And I don't think that we've come up with these conversations trying to make it a race war. It's not a race war to me. It's an access war that I feel like is being bred through television and through social media. But we haven't had to deal with like a bus coming in or being dropped off. Thank God. There are protocols and policies that we have in place if that does happen. But thank God it just hasn't. Some of our other communities, one of our other communities got a hotel in his town, so they dropped off 150 migrants, and they're paying the hotel 3 times the rate per night, right? But that doesn't do anything for his school system. That doesn't do anything for the resources that he has to provide. That doesn't have to do anything with the police calls that's coming back to that hotel, because now you fill the hotel with people that you don't have any responsibility for. So for me, the migrant crisis, I don't see so much as a migrant crisis, so much as it is the Democrats versus playing against the Republicans. And so much as it is of saying from a federal level, we should have handled the border a long time ago. And I think that's just how I feel when it comes to the migrant crisis. It's not so much a race to race, but it's like if you can give a store owner $15,000 a month to put some migrants in a storefront, then you can do student loan forgiveness. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, that's for sure. And as Mayor Booker said, right now we don't really feel the crunch of the migrant crisis because we don't have any hotels, we don't have any motels or any housing within our communities, but we are putting policies together. We've put policies in place that will make it mandatory that you let us know 5, 6 days in advance before you're going to drop a bus in our communities.
Lord.
So we'll know what we need to do, and it's for the safety of our
Everybody.
residents, and it's in the safety of the migrants, because when you're dropping people off in the wintertime with no coats and no shoes, that's a crisis within itself on what we have to do in our communities. So we have those things in play, and I am very smart man now. So this is what, when we talk about the national convention, I'm super smart on that one. That's why we let the young bucks and you guys be in them organizations with all the letters so they can work. But I will be at the United Center supporting, our elected officials in the fight. But we're gonna let him run around.
The face will be
We're gonna
in
make sure you
place.
got a good seat to chill and relax. You be like, look, bro, that's my boy right there.
Responsible. But hey, fellas, I listen. We really, really appreciate you guys. And before we go, what you gonna do with White Way?
So Right Way has actually been agreed to sell to Living Fresh. That's in Forest Park. So that's the Black-owned grocery store. We focused in 2022 to fight the state to come up with some funding that would help our food insecurity and help other communities' food insecurity. So in February of 2023, Governor Pritzker announced the Grocery Initiative. Grocery Initiative was announced. He signed it into law in September. The money just dropped to the DCEO in January. And now the notice of funding will come out in February.
What's the DCO?
So, the Department of Economic, the Illinois Department of Economic Opportunity. So that it is a $4.5 million project. What we don't want to do is like Maywood did a few decades ago, where we poured our own tax dollars of $2.5 million into a grocery store that didn't even last for a year.
Yep.
So the grant that we have fought for is eligible for $2.3 million of that money. We're also working with the Cook County Loan Fund that has a Rerise Together Foundation grant of another $1 million to get to that. So we have the grocer that has agreed to come to the Village of Maywood. The biggest thing that I always say when we bring up grocery store, one, I just want to be real clear. I never ran on us getting a grocery store. We have multiple grocery stores that you can get to in 5 to 10 minutes. There is online shopping and happening every day. Grocery stores only bring in a 1 or 2% profit, right? But when thinking about the grocery store, the biggest piece that we're also working with is a federally qualified health center. The federally qualified health center will go on the corner of 5th and Washington, where the old Robinson's Towing was. That will help feed into the actual grocery store. And then we're also taking the pharmacy out of the federally qualified health center and putting it into the grocery store. So that will feed it. I think the biggest piece that we have to focus on is having enough commercial corridor along 5th Avenue, having enough residents that are buying these new $400,000 homes that are being built to truly feel the right way of shopping into a grocery store. My grandmother still goes to Kingery Walmart, and she goes to Jewel's in Elmhurst. You'll go to Lombard to go to Pete's.
And that's where they're accustomed to going.
So we have to shift that culture, but we are diligently working to bring the grocery store. But what I don't want to do is see us use tax dollars and then it not even stay open for longer than a year like it did last time.
That's right.
I just hope the viewers are listening and they heard it. If somebody come to my store again, ask me about that grocery store next door, we're gonna have a problem. Now y'all know.
So Mayor Harvey, what's your next project what you working on?
You know I'm working on stuff, man.
I know it.
And I really don't want to talk because my brother here, he be picking me up, man, picking my brain. And I can't not
put
tell
you to work, man.
Right. But let me tell you, that senior apartment was a big project, but now don't take this and run with it. But now we're working.
What you got?
We're working on the downtown in Bellwood on St. Charles Road. So currently, the Village of Bellwood has purchased majority of the property. I say we own about 80% of the property from the post office all the way back to 22nd Street.
Wow.
So pretty soon you're going to see 2 sister high-end 3-story and a 4-story building going up on St. Charles Road. Okay. Commercial on the bottom, high-end market rate apartments on the top of those buildings, and commercial on the bottom. So we are then going to continue that development all the way to 22nd Street, and we're going to help my brother can start it at 21st and continue to go all the way down to Fifth Avenue in on St. Charles. So we're gonna make a vibrant downtown area in Bellwood, something that we don't have right now, but it's gonna be
You
out of
got a
sight.
good committee, because I'm gonna tell you, Christmas time, them lights alone, Washington by
Oh yeah,
police
Oh,
take,
yeah.
that's a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah.
I just love that.
And you know what, Chris? We do that because people that look like us, we can do the same thing as people that don't look like us.
It's a beautiful
Right.
thing. So, but I hope you guys, success. God bless you. Glad to have you. First day of Black History Month, and we got his announcement.
I got to give an announcement,
You gotta
man.
give
We
it to
giving
me.
our Mardi Gras senior dance coming up. So we always doing something for the seniors. So Saturday, February 10th, we will have a Mardi Gras senior dance, our annual senior dance, and that's going to be held this year, I believe, at the DoubleTree in Oak Brook. Tickets are available at the Village Hall in Bellwood, $40 a ticket. So please come out and support that February 10th. And on February 17th, Black History Month celebration at District 88. At the school district. So please come out and handle that. And today, my brother didn't mention this, but we collaborated again. Broadview, Bellwood, and Maywood. We raised the Pan American flag today for Black History Month in our three towns simultaneously at noon to celebrate Black History Month here in our communities.
But this is a beautiful thing, and it's a blessing for us to have y'all on our show.
Absolutely.
Two Black mayors doing the thing and making moves that we don't understand yet, but we watching the moves that they make. And to have them here on the first day of Black History Month, it's an honor.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you.
I just have one thing to say. What would you tell a young politician coming up? What advice would you give
I am
him?
the young politician.
Right.
But you're a
You acting
veteran
like
now.
Nicki Minaj now. Somebody coming behind
No,
you.
You're a veteran now.
No, I mean, what would I say? God, make sure you know what you're getting yourself into.
Okay.
I would say that there is no manual to this. Take it one day at a time. You don't have to get everything done in the first year or second year. Plan yourself out and don't burn yourself out trying to please everybody, because you don't need 100% of the vote. You just need the majority of the vote.
Yes.
Surround yourself with good people. Come see me and Mayor Booker whenever you need advice. And we're going to give it to you, and we're going to take you to the
they're
next
good
level.
people, but they're knowledgeable people at the same time. So from the love movement, from Lady Z to the money-minded Toya Capri and Chris Brown, the Musty Man, we want to say thank you. Thank you. And as we always say,
All right now.
treat people the way you want to be treated and never give up. God
Yes.
bless you.
It's time to be your best.
Just got dressed. Need something to get into. Pretty girl on deck. She just wanna have fun too. She know how to roll one. If I need her to come through, turn up, we best friends.